r/AskReddit by Reddify. What will almost certainly be popular again? Any show that Netflix decides to revive. Especially if it's from the 90s. I'm still praying for them to get Fresh Prince. I mean seriously. Edit, not a revival. But all the old episodes. It's home improvement for me. They brought back Full House. Now they need to bring back Home Improvement. Olympic sports no one cares about become popular every time the Olympics come around. Figure skating world championships or rock qualifiers or something have been on NBC a lot lately. Every time I see it, I'm like, who watches figure skating when it's not the Olympics? Who watches figure skating when it's not the Olympics? As of now, anime fans. Early 2000s music. It all comes back around. I wonder if my children will be like, ugh, Dad, I hate your music, when I'm listening to the D.O.G.G. Oh yeah. I look forward to listening to Gua in the old folks home someday. Neon everything. Edit. Okay. This apparently never left / already came back. Go to a middle school. Probably 50% of the kids are wearing neon clothes and have a neon backpack. Edit. Beware. If you do, you might get on a list. I don't think you can just go to a middle school to look at the kids there. I mean, I get what you're saying, but yeah. Celebrity deathmatch. There's been so many more celebs and so many stories. It's only a matter of time. Tonight, Rage Against the Machine vs the Machine. Edit, to clear up what I perceive to be confusion, based on some replies. This was an actual episode of Celebrity Deathmatch. Rage Against the Machine vs. The Machine, the killer robot type. RATM vs Florence plus the Machine. Girls wearing thongs sticking above their jeans again. Circa 2002. I hope and pray. I pray. And that's why you'll never enjoy this trend again. The wild you/Dandidima hunts the prey, waiting for the thing to stick out, where he then dives in with a knife and devours them. Him just waiting for the zeros to be the nostalgic decade on the internet as kids who grew up then end up in their 20s. Kids who grew up then end up in their 20s. I think the zeros aren't as recent as you think. I mean the late zeros. I'm definitely part of the zeros kids generation, and I'm 24, born in 1992. The zeros just haven't reached that level of nostalgia that the 90s have yet. My students love anything vintage. They're all about high-waist jeans, bell bottoms, wide sleeves, zoot suits, flapper dresses. They love vinyl recordings of modern music. Right now the cool one they are into is old movies. So far I have a group of them working through the Chaplin films and they love them. I actually think it's pretty neat to see them excited about it. One of them lamented to me a couple weeks ago that movies just aren't made like this anymore. You know what I miss about old movies? The conversation. Just pointless bull-hitting between characters that has no bearing on the plot whatsoever. A movie like Reservoir Dogs, for example. You've got all these scenes, like the diner at the beginning, where these characters just shoot hit for no reason whatsoever, and not only are these parts the best parts of the movie, but they make you give a hit, or at least give you background, about / on a character. I feel like movies made today skip this, because they feel like people will get bored if every scene doesn't drive the plot forward. I think this is really an undervalued part of movies. One of the most famous lines from Pulp Fiction comes from a conversation about cheeseburgers. It has nothing to do with the plot, but it reveals a lot about the situation and the characters and sets the tone for the whole movie. Creedence Clearwater Revival. Creedence Clearwater, Reloaded. Creedence Clearwater, Armageddon. Ed, and Eddie. I know I'm not the only one who thinks about it every day. You should watch Trailer Park Boys. It's like Ed and Eddie grew up and moved to a Canadian trailer park. Duck in analogy. Big band music. I'm ready for a swing revival. Electro swing. Baby. Privacy. Nope. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube on that one. And why are you wearing that ugly red shirt? Didn't you just wear that same shirt Monday? Yeah. But we are beaming down to a planet with flying carnivorous squirrels in an hour. Seems pointless replicating a nice new shirt. Older drafting techniques. I'll explain. Older model fire engines would use the exhaust from the truck as a method of creating a vacuum to draft from a body of water, pulling the water up instead of having it pressured in. They got away from that, moving to hydraulic pumps and then electric primers. Electric primers, while reliable, burn up from intense heat when used for extended periods. So, they are starting to use the engine's exhaust to create a vacuum again. Full circle. This is probably the most interesting comment I've seen so far. People out of touch with current fashion trends. The 90s. If you are enjoying the video, please give a thumbs up and leave a comment. An international/national popular interest in space exploration. Hopefully. If anyone can make Americans want to leave the planet, it's probably Trump. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Fascism. High energy fascism. If you overuse a word, especially very loosely, the word loses its force and ceases to have meaning. If you cry wolf enough, nobody will believe you when the pack finally arrives. I just got a pair of Heelys cause lol Heelys, and at least 5 other people at my school got themselves a pair. So Heelys. Heelys are back. Especially among pediatric surgeons in Seattle. That is such an oddly specific group. Any reason why? High tops and hockey hair. High tops are still trendy though. No. The current trend is runners. This started in roughly 2010-2011 with Nike's introduction of the Roche Run, and Ronnie Fieg bringing back the Asics Gel Light silhouette. Throw Cana in the mix with the Yeezy 350 Boost and Adidas doing their thing with Ultra Boost and NMDS, and you have the current footwear trend's biggest players. Pokemon Go. When 2nd gen Pokemon come out? Right guys? Right. I play Pokemon Go. Every day. Or teen pregnancy, if Planned Parenthood is really defunded. I think that, if Pages goes under, pills will pop up with the unintended side effect of terminating a pregnancy. I read a historical fiction book about a woman who pretty much made and sold those in the late 1800s. She also was a midwife who would perform abortions. It was a really interesting read. The book was called My Notorious Life, and the character in the book was based off a woman who went by the name Madame Ristel. Grunge. I'm waiting for the goth/industrial scene to come back. I'm not holding my breath. It's still around, but yes, I want to see much more black lipstick and studded leather and eyeliner on men. My god. There was this guy Dennis in high school. He was so cool that it just has to circle back again. He was like some sort of golden god. He hasn't even begun to peak. He's a 5-star man now. Frosted Tips. I wanna see Guy Fieri's everywhere. Guy Fieri 2020. We are moving the White House to Flavor Town. DC. After Justice League bombs, DC will make their own studio and reboot their entire franchise. Although, this could be a questionable business decision. People argue that the popularity of superhero movies will eventually die out like westerns. I doubt JL bombs. BVS did fine financially despite being a train wreck. Don't see why JL would be any different. Or were you meaning only critics bomb it and I misunderstood? Bombs normally refers financially, FYI. BVS didn't have any serious competition, and this was before DC films got a bad reputation. JL is opening between Thor and Star Wars. Writing it off financially is a mistake, but if Wonder Woman isn't decent enough to change some minds about the franchise, then it's going to be in trouble. Punk and Anarchy. My take on the Trump presidency has been, man, there are going to be some good punk bands coming out of this. When he won, my thought was, at least punk music is going to be good for the next few years. Nintendo never left. Fam. Yo-yos. For some reason they keep coming back. Also boomerangs. 2D animation. It just has that timeless feel to it. Edit, a word. See also, hand-drawn animation. 80s metal. Like a rainbow in the dark. Oh no. Here comes the obligatory thread full of 80s metal song title puns. Everyone run to the hills. Stupidly massive baggy jeans. We may all laugh now at those turn of the millennium fashions, but while we were all stood around with our spiked hair, bad eyeliner and debilitatingly massive jeans, we were laughing about high-waisted jeans that were so short That people could see your socks. I heard JNCO is making a comeback. Absolutely is not. Alf Dogs. Remember Alf? He's back. In Pog form. Community. Instead of hiding behind computer screens, people are going out and meeting one another at their local demonstrations. This will bring folks together and lead to a grand rebirth of clubs and organizations. Sociologists will rejoice. I thought you were on about the TV show and was like, hell yeah. 6 seasons and a movie. Haha. Nice. Starts carving a tally mark of community references on front of desk. Club Penguin on March 29th. I bet you millions of new and old players will be on that puppy overloading the servers. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.